G'day guys, welcome back. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you can tell I'm not really happy. The biggest winning margin for the Blues against the Waratahs, 46 points to 6, the final game of the season. The Blues went out there wanting to send off, some of their players that are going overseas with a good performance, with some nice tries. Rico Ioane's taking a sabbatical, 3 tries tonight, and just really try to build on the game that they had been trying for the whole season. They're trying to break out of that style that, kind of got a bit figured out, so to speak, where the style that they won Super Rugby last year, with which is using the forwards to just like ram down the middle of the field and just quick ball around the breakdowns, getting around that, getting around the rock really quickly, having your forwards, that sort of stuff. And in fact, bringing your wingers in to speed that process up around the rocks as well, just to transition out of that strategy. They built that throughout the whole season. Then early on, when Bowden Barrett first came back, the Blues were terrible. They lost to They lost to the Reds, I think, at Eden Park, and just overall that they were having trouble transitioning out of that style they had previously. And then they tried to go back to the style they were playing last year, and they wasn't clicking either. So they were kind of stuck in the middle of not really able to do what they were doing last year, but not able to transition into a new style either. And tonight, the Blues showed that, again, the professionalism, the continue, the continue, I guess, the mentality, I guess the culture of continued improvement. One shot again tonight. The Blues didn't just come out and kick a bunch of penalties and play get the forwards to try to ram everybody down like they did. They did in the previous games to get where they found a bit more success. Now they try to go back to the style. They try the kicking style with Bowden Barrett, which they failed to transition into early in the season. They tried again to expand on that skill sets, expand on that that strategy that they had been working on, the kind of like unsuccessfully this year to some extent. And tonight they found a lot of success to an extremely poor Waratahs team, and it leaves you the question, right? Like at the beginning of the season, there were people, I think Drew Mitchell, one of the pundits, predicted that the Waratahs was going to win this year just because the sheer fact of how much talent has been funneled into the Waratahs. You have Joseph Suaalii, biggest signing in history of Rugby Australia, and then you have the Melbourne Rebels going down with a lot of their very top Wallabies talents being funneled into the Waratahs. And we got this sort of results. It's just Dan McKellar coming back, I thought was a bad idea. I don't know why they didn't look for a better coach. I mean, McKellar was fired from the Leicester Tigers for not doing a great job. He had literally 100 Pollard at his disposal, and he couldn't make it into the couldn't make it. I think I can't remember if they've actually made it, but he had a worse season than the year before when 100 Pollard was injured. Right, you have literally the guy that won the World Cup for South Africa, and yet he somehow managed to deliver a worse result than the year before, of which 100 Pollard was injured. And that just tells you, I said at the beginning of the season, I have no confidence in Dan McKellar's ability to deliver the results. And sure enough, this is what we got. The fact that Suaalii got injured, again, you guys in the comments, and we talk about this every week almost. When Suaalii was on the field, he was pretty reckless the way he was playing. Like, he's good, he's really physical, but he's a little bit reckless, and everybody can see that. Like, he's either gonna get caught in a high shot situation where he gets red carded, or he can injure himself. And unfortunately, he's the one that got injured, and it's something that I actually talked about this in one of my previous Waratahs review as well. It's not about scoring tries, scoring points. It's about understanding how to protect yourself in the process, which is a really important part of the game. Something that Tom Brady talks about when it comes to him at the Patriots. People kind of asking, what is the most important job for you? Like, what do you look for when you play as a world class quarterback? And he talk about his most important job is not to try to throw the ball and get a touchdown. His most important job is to make sure that he throw the ball to someone that's not going to get immediately smacked and get sent to hospital from receiving it. So his job is to make sure that he protects his players on the field ahead of scoring points. And that's something that just looking at, I think that Waratahs failed to do when it comes to managing Joseph Suaalii in terms of how he operated on the field. Like, yeah, his physical, but his border. He was crossing the line of being a bit reckless, and some of you guys, a lot of you guys talked about that in the comments as well. And in the end, I think that the Waratahs season, you could probably consider this was a massive failure. There were moments where you look like the Waratahs could have built them into something, and then only for like Dan McKellar to not even knowing where Joseph Suaalii wants to play. Should he at fullback? Is he going to be Israel Folau? Should he be at outside center because he play outside center for the Wallabies? He's like literally asking Joe Schmidt where he wants the Suaalii to play on the field. Like, you're the head coach. You should know by spending time with the player, understanding how he likes to play, understanding how he plays, and watching his tapes from rugby league, understanding his style, and then assigning a position accordingly, right? Instead of just like, hey, let's just try and see. And and obviously, I don't want to go into all the technical stuff like the kicking game. Suaalii was lacking a bit as well to be the fullback. I think it's I don't know what's going on at the Waratahs coaching camp. I don't know if if this is maybe Dan McKellar just don't have the assistant coaching staff that can do the job for him. But whatever the case is, I think the management has been very lackluster from the coaching in terms of the player base as well. And same thing with Tupou. You can tell that Tupou is just really unmotivated the whole season. I mean, he's had the potential to be the best prop in the world, and you're telling me you can't motivate him to fulfill his potential as the best prop in the world? I mean, like, what kind of? I mean, surely, like, I feel like if I can, like Tupou, like, if you're watching this, like, I wish I had a quarter of the talent that you have, right? I wish I could be good enough to just play professionals, and let alone have the talent, the natural born talent to be a star before you're even a professional, to be like virally a sensation before you're even a professional, and then to have the talent to be one of the best players in the world, probably ever, right? And then to just go out there and, looking like unmotivated. It's surely somebody has to get it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. How is the team managing these players? Again, really disappointing. Anyway, I think that's what I have to say for the two team seasons. Again, Blues has done an extremely good job to pull themselves out of the dumpster at the beginning of the season, and they're building into the finals. Again, they're peaking just like the Chiefs next week. They're going to be playing up against, and it's going to be exciting. And I think the Blues fans will be very happy to see the performance that the team delivered tonight. And again, Waratahs kicking penalty goals, capitulating. They were actually in the fight early in the game, which was really disappointing. Like, they were going head to head with the Blues, and then only to capitulate, decided to take easy points. And sure enough, you let the Blues play rugby, and they're gonna put points on you. That's just the way it is. And let's have a look at the match stats of the game. 7 tries to 0, 402 meters to 324 to the Blues. We've got 13 turnovers considered against the Blues to the Waratahs 18. 19 tackles missed out of 141 for the Blues. 22 missed tackles made out of 130. So in terms of the defense, the Waratahs are not too bad. It's just the lack of the kicking game for the Beauden Barrett was it's just a lack of commitment, I think, to the Waratahs mentally overall to push through the difficult bits. 30 kicks in play for the Blues, 26 for the Waratahs. A bunch of missed goals for Beauden Barrett tonight. That was a little bit shocking. He again, Beauden goal kicking looked really good early in the season, and only to fall apart later on. 3 missed goals for him, 787 kick meters for the Blues, 635 for the Waratahs. And then we've got 3 line-out losses. This is probably the only good part for the Blues, for the Waratahs. Managed to spoil a bunch of the Blues line-outs. 15 out of for the Blues and 3 loss. 1 loss for the Waratahs out of 13. 2 scrum loss for the Waratahs. out of 4. No loss for the Blues. I thought the scrum was a bit of a mess. The went down a lot, and the referee just wasn't entertaining a lot of it. I think that, yeah, there's no clear picture at some point. I think that the Blues, yeah, I think that, yeah, I just think that, yeah, again, how do you have Tupou and like on the field and lose 2 of your own scrum feeds as the Waratahs? Again, shows me there's lack of sort of support behind the scenes, lack of coaching for the Waratahs behind the scenes, in my opinion. 6 penalties conceded for the Blues, 9 against the Waratahs overall. But yeah, very lackluster, one-sided show for the Blues. Let's just quickly go through the quick point summary for the game. And yeah, so the game started off, like I said, toe-to-toe. Waratahs was just, yeah, the Blues weren't able to execute. The Waratahs was hanging in there. And the Waratahs got a penalty 22 minutes in and kicked 3 points. And I thought, oh boy. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The Blues actually scored a try 10 minutes in before the 3 points. So Caleb Clubb kind of like made nice little run through with just some, yeah, just got the ball out wide, ran through some defenders, and then linked up with Rieko Ioane. And Rieko Ioane got really close to the try line. He looked a bit slow there. Andrew Callaway caught him from behind, and the ball just came out quickly, spread out wide to the outer end of the field to Mark Talea, winning for the try. 5-0. And then, yeah, Waratahs capitulated 22 minutes in, kicking 3 points, 5 points to 3. 27 minutes of the game, the scrum went down a bunch of times. Beauden Barrett got the ball out and then just burst through the defensive line. And then Talea got pretty close as well. And then the ball kind of went quick out to Rieko Ioane, crashed through for the try. 10 points to 3. 36 minutes into the game, there was a little kick through from AJ Land behind. Rieko gets there with speed, 17 points to 6, grounds the ball. 40 minutes to the end, just before half time. Again, this was another grabber kick behind. It looked like the Waratahs player grounded the ball, to be honest. And then his chest actually pressed the ball down. Both the referee and TMO said that was not a clear grounding. So the ball like ricocheted back up for, who was it? It was Talea got the bounce up and ground the ball. 24 points to 6. I thought this was the wrong decision by the referee, but it didn't really matter because it wasn't like that was going to make a difference to the game. 45 minutes in the game in the second half. Another little chip behind. This was Tupou was scrambling back to cover the ball. Like, again, this just shows the Blues identified a weakness, and like Waratahs just didn't know how to deal with it. Like, just little kick behinds. They didn't know how to deal with it. The little kick behind. Tupou was there to try to scoop it up. He's trying to pass the ball back to the who was it? Trying to pass it back to his teammate, and the ball was like, he threw too far. Essentially, the ball like fumbled in front of his goal line. Blues turnover. Quickly spread ball out wide, and Evans winning for the try. 31 points to 6. 57 minutes of the game. The Blues gets another try, lots of pressure, center field. Eventually, Ricky Riccatelli pick and go for the try. 38 points to 6. Finally, 68 minutes in the game. Hat-trick, Rieko Ioane. Another big scrum. The ball came out to Beauden. Just, yeah, a little kick behind. Another chase by Rieko. Gets there. There was like 4 Waratahs players. Nobody got the ball except for Rieko. And then he crashed over for the try. 45 points to 6. And finally, on the dot of full time, penalty running from the goalpost. Blues kick another one. 46 points to 6 was the final score. So yeah, it is what it is. Really poor for the Waratahs. And yeah, I don't know. I think they should find a new coach instead of Dan McKellar. Yeah, I just don't understand what is the issue with so much talent, and yet you have basic things like little kick behind, and your player on the field, your professional players on the field, don't seem to know how to deal with it, right? Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.